I'm here with Ryan Newman, driver of the number 6 Ford Mustang for Roush Fenway Racing. Ryan, how are you? Obviously a busy day over there.
Yeah, just doing media obligations, which is always a ball of fun. So I think I got it covered.
Okay, first of all, and I'm being totally serious, you have some of the best paint schemes in NASCAR. Like that Castro car looks really great. Are you comfortable saying you have the best looking garage in Cup right now?
I guess so, yeah. I've always said, too, from where I sit, I can't see the paint scheme, but I will say when I look at them, they do look pretty impressive.
So how are you feeling heading into Daytona? I'm just looking at it. You've won here before. You ran well at the Clash and in qualifying. You've run well at Daytona in the past. I certainly wouldn't bet against you. How do you like your chances this Sunday?
They're probably the best that they've been in quite a while. Our Koch Industries Ford was really good in practice and in qualifying, and in the Clash we had a good strong car, stayed with the front group pretty much the whole time, and you know, had a shot at the end even though there was only a few cars left running. We just got outnumbered and ended up finishing 5th. So it was a disappointing finish, but again, felt like we had speed in our Koch Industries Ford, and you know, that hopefully will carry over into Thursday and more importantly Sunday.
And you ran very well at super speedways last year, and in general, Roush has had a good track record in these plate races over the last few seasons. Does your team have a little extra confidence in these races, and if so, why?
You know, I think we've had some good finishes, but we haven't had the finish that we want. Talladega was obviously close, being 0.07 of a second off, but you know, that doesn't matter. It could have been 3 miles for all I care. So just want to go out there and have some fun, represent Koch Industries the best we can, get a Roush Fenway Ford victory lane, and look forward to the opportunity of working with my new teammate Chris Buescher as well.
Yeah, speaking of Chris, obviously back at Roush after being at JTG, what's that transition been like, and how's it been working with Chris so far?
You know, I've had a little bit of experience racing against him, but you know, this will be the first time working together, and I think he's got a great mentality. I know his crew chief because he was my old crew chief, Luke Lambert. My last win was with him, so I look forward to all 4 of us, my crew chief Scott Graves and those 2 guys working together and trying to make Roush Fenway stronger than it's been in years past.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit, you used a pretty great strategy last season that helped you make a lot of noise in the playoffs. Do you anticipate it being harder this season, or do you think other drivers may try to duplicate some of what you were doing last season?
Well, we were consistent, but we weren't where we needed to be. We were better at the end of the race than we were at the start of the middle, and that was good, but it wasn't great. We need to be out there leading laps and proving that we are a championship contender, not just in the playoffs. So that's one of my personal goals this year, is to just you know, put ourselves in a much better position. If we were a 10th place car, be a top 5 car, and so on.
You've always been outspoken about changes you think the sport needs to make. You recently said you think NASCAR should consider doing a dirt race. I talked to Chris, he kind of echoed that. Obviously the Eldora truck race is one of the best events in the sport. Do you think a dirt race would work in Cup, and any other sort of creative changes you'd like to see?
There's no doubt in my mind that a dirt race would work, but it's got to be at the right time, in the right place, and in front of the right people. Those fans are what drive our sport. So putting all those things together is not easy, and when you factor in TV and sanctioning bodies and track ownership and things like that, it's a challenge. But there is no doubt in my mind the first race that I know of was on dirt, and the last race could be on dirt as well.
Yeah, I think it would be great as well. Just a couple more. There's also been a lot of talk about things like hybrid or electric engines coming into NASCAR. How do you feel about that kind of stuff? Do you think it's inevitable, or do you think the sport should stick to its roots?
Say that first part again, please.
There's just been a lot of talk about hybrid or electric engines coming into NASCAR. Are you, interested in that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I don't know how to really comment on that. I'm a purist. I like the history of our sport. Sometimes I think we like to promote change and it's not needed. It's not that it can't be successful, it's just that it's not needed. There's a lot of technology out there that would be sufficient to do what a hybrid would do. I'm aware of the environment, I'm aware of a lot of things that happen, but until we are not drinking out of plastic bottles and plastic straws and throwing away garbage and plastic bags and things like that, I'm not too terribly worried about a hybrid in a race car. I'm more worried about the entertainment value of our sport and making sure that we can connect to the fans and the sponsors and the people that drive it. If that includes a hybrid and it is successful, then sign me up. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. Last question, just sort of talk about your overall excitement for the new season, and for the Daytona 500. Does it ever get old after all these years? Have you become desensitized to it? And just what a victory would mean for Roush?
I think the older you get, the more you appreciate what you've done or where you've been and things that you've accomplished, but you also appreciate the fact that somebody somewhere is looking to take your seat, and you don't want that to happen. So I relish the moments of coming to places like Daytona or Indy or Charlotte that like Darlington. It's a special place, a special racetrack that means a lot to so many, and has been such a staple of our sport that I just when I come to Daytona, it just kind of feels like home. Winning here in 2008 was probably the most special moment in my racing career. Don't know that it ever could be topped, but look forward to having the opportunity to get my kids in Victory Lane, and no better place than Daytona.
Awesome. Well, hey, Ryan, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, and good luck this weekend to both you and Chris, and we'll all be watching.